This is Walt Benetti, publisher of JeffParishNews.com, and we are holding candidate interviews at the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard. Make sure you stop by and eat some great food. Joining us now is a candidate for Jefferson Parish Council in District 2, Melinda Doucet. How you doing, Melinda?
Very well, thank you.
Now, you were on the school board, and now you want to be on the Jefferson Parish Council. Talk about the differences between the two and how much more of an impact you can make on the residents of District 2, of all the residents.
As serving on the Jefferson Parish School Board as as school board president, it's a big undertaking. You have a $500 million budget. We have 7,000 employees, 50,000 children that make up the Jefferson Parish Public School System. We speak 91 different languages, and we have an at-risk population of 82%, which means that 82% of our children receive free breakfast and free lunch every day. So that gives you some idea of what Jefferson Parish is made up of. I believe strongly in education, still do. I want to work as a council member to bring forth a CTE school, which is critically needed in our area. It's a career tech education so that we'd have our work-ready labor force. It's proven that in 2025 we're going to have a shortage of electricians. We need to understand that, and if we have a more job-ready workforce, we would attract stronger businesses to our area.
Now, how can you do that on the parish council? Working with the school board, working with the school superintendent? How can you
all
do
of
that?
the above, and we have to understand that education is the key to everything. So by educating the citizens of Jefferson Parish on how much this school would be needed and would be able to serve the citizens of Jefferson Parish, would be a great value to our district.
Now, what do you think the biggest issues are within the district?
Within our district right now, from what I'm hearing as I'm walking on the streets, I live on the south side of Jefferson Highway, and we know that we've spent all this money on drainage. The pump to the river did help out enormously. But with the last rainfall, and I understand it was 8 inches, I wasn't able to leave my street in Harahan until 10 minutes to 12, because as we all know, the first to the water is the first to drain. So the first water that gets to the drain. So we need to have more pump to the rivers, smaller pump to the rivers that pump directly from the south side over. There's one right now on the corner of Save and Jefferson Highway. That one costs around $1.2 million. We're doing another study right now to put one in on Coventry Court in that area, and then we're looking a little further down on into Old Jefferson. But I'm in Harahan on Imperial Woods, and there is another need there. So we're looking into that.
Now, District 2 is split on the East Bank and the West Bank. So
correct. A lot of my district, a large part of the district is on the West Bank. It covers Bridge City, Westwego, Harvey, Marrero, so it's in Avondale.
Right, and Harahan and River Ridge.
And Harahan, Riverdale, River Ridge, Metairie, Old Jefferson, all the way to the Orleans Parish line.
Right, no, it's a pretty spread out area.
It is.
I think there's 88,000
correct
people about that. So representing 88,000 people, that would be huge. And obviously they have diverse interests and diverse issues. How are you going to be able to bridge the divide that Jefferson Parish seems to have between the East Bank and the West Bank?
My experience on school board has helped me with that, because my district, as a school board member, I did span on both East Side and the West Bank of the Mississippi, which with the new bridge, and I hate to keep calling it that, but the great expansion of the Huey P. Long has, let's say, softened the distance between the East Bank and the West Bank. It's the same voices that I hear on both sides. They all have concerns. They're all looking for better paying jobs, more stability in government. And I think they're really just looking for a voice to have on the council. I was the voice of the school system. They call me the parent of the school system, so therefore I receive calls not just from my district of District 7, but throughout the whole school system, because where there's a child in need, we're all supposed to help. So I was very instrumental in helping throughout the whole district of the school system.
Just for the record, I have to throw this out there for a little while, not now because I've moved within Kenner, but you were my school board representative in Kenner, and I communicated with you not terribly a lot because I don't have children, but enough, I think, for someone as a regular citizen. And you were also a sponsor of our Kenner Cleanup Days, and we appreciate that. So I don't want anyone to think I'm giving you preferential treatment. We've invited your opponents to speak as well, and hopefully they'll take me up on it and come here and tell us about them. On the school board, obviously there was a lot of dissension and a lot of different factions and issues that came up. Tell us about problem solving there and dealing with some of the larger than they should be personalities that were on the school board.
And that's exactly how I was going to start. We had several personalities on the school board, and I'm one of them. But my personality was always with the best of the children and to bring that issue forward. When you're doing things for the right reasons, it's easy. And if you keep the reason why you were voted to be there as your first objective at all times, your decisions are easily made. So every decision that I made as a school board member was for what would benefit the students of Jefferson Parish.
Now, your two opponents have not been elected before. Dean Opanano has served in a number of appointed positions. Michael O'Brien has run for office before and lost. Tell us why you're different. I know your background in the school board, but tell us, either expound upon that or tell us specifically why you think you are a better candidate.
It goes back to being a voice. This time, my slogan is people before politics. I am truly a voice of the people. Last time, I spent $11,200 on my campaign, and my opponent spent over $100,000. I've done work throughout my community. I've always volunteered. I've always worked hard for the issues that I felt were to benefit the residents that I have always served. So I know that I'm going to be that voice for the everyday person, not the one who has a special interest, the everyday people that I'm walking on the streets now and talking to. And that's how I've found out what are the main concerns of the residents of Jefferson Parish and District 2.
Now, I know in Harahan and River Ridge, obviously the stench from the landfill has been a huge issue. And I've talked to hundreds of people there who have told me about health issues and the fact that they can't sell their homes now, their property value has declined, they feel like they're stuck, and they feel like they're not getting any kind of representation. And that's one of the issues that I have with the former councilman in District 2 who is now trying to run at large. I don't think he was as aggressive as he could have been and should have been in addressing these people's needs, because it's gone on now for 2 years and we still don't have an answer. What can you do to get involved from day one and try to give these people some relief?
First off, we have to go back to the initial problem, which, as you just said, this smell has been around for the last 2 years, the particle in the air, 2 years. That dump site has been there since the Tim Coulon administration
Right.
and prior to. So what have we changed? Not we, meaning the citizens. What has the council and the parish presidents changed? When did they start accepting liquid waste? When did they start downsizing the manpower that they had at the dump? Who was checking the pump systems that we already had in place? So there's a lot of questions that should have been answered a long time ago. Now that it's an issue, we have all this money coming into the dump. We do have now quality air control that's going to be servicing with. They've put in all 7 pumps. They're pumping the leachy. They're trying to pay attention to the smell. So it has gotten a lot of attention recently, and there's going to be more to come. But it's a shame that it had to get to this point. And why isn't someone asking the original question, when did we start accepting different items at the landfill that created this problem, and make sure it doesn't happen again?
Well, I've been asking questions for the last year and a half because I believe the issue started when the parish began accepting liquid industrial waste. And why Mike Yanny and Keith Conley did that, I have no idea. But there's going to be more to that story. But I think the parish council has tried to slide that under the rug and focus on other things. And I appreciate the fact that they're doing maintenance work now and improving things now. But that doesn't help what already happened. I mean, these people are going to be, we're not going to know the health impact, the long-term health impact on these people for decades. And that's sad. That's the kind of person that we need. We need somebody to get in there and take charge and say, when you get complaints, and I'm sure the other councilman got complaints, he just didn't act on them. And you think you can be the one to act on them.
I know that I will be because of the changes that I was able to make and the impact that I made on children's lives for the school system. When there's an issue that's at heart, and this is at heart, this is at the heart of our citizens, and it's not just Harahan and River Ridge, it's also the people on the Wagaman side of the river have also experienced this. So we can't just say it is a East Bank issue. Do I feel they addressed the issue correctly? No, because it didn't pass the smell test, did it? So they already knew what was creating the problems. Mm-hmm. Did they give the management that was in place at the landfill the proper tools that they needed? I don't believe that was it. But as you said, all of those things are looking in the past. Now we just have to correct the issue, move forward, make sure that the proper management company is in place, and monitor it, and let our citizens know that we are there for them, and we are going to address any health concerns or any other issues that might arise from the smell that we've been smelling.
And infrastructure and drainage is certainly a huge issue. I mean, Elmwood still floods.
Elmwood
even
still
with the
floods.
Retention ponds and
Correct. And I have a plan for Elmwood. I see Elmwood in a totally different light than where it is now. If you've driven through Elmwood lately, they have a lot of warehouses that are not in use. They have they look abandoned. There's no other word for it. I feel that Elmwood Business Park is as valuable to Jefferson Parish as City Park is to New York. That's how valuable that land is. It's right at the foot of the Mississippi Bridge.
Right.
We have the Mississippi River, which is a great port. We don't utilize that access near enough. I also feel that it could be a new urban type of development where our younger citizens, the millennials, are looking for a more hip, cool place to live. You can incorporate that along with senior living, a little bit like the Lauricella Land Company is trying to do with the Kmart site. But, I mean, we need to go back and think. You can incorporate these things with community living, with a grocery store, a pharmacy, a dry cleaner, things that everyone likes to have, along with smaller restaurants, a music venue. There's so many avenues that we can take, and we just have to visualize a lot of the things that we have, because we have so many wonderful things in Jefferson Parish, and sometimes we don't always accentuate the better things that make our quality of living here in Jefferson Parish so valuable.
When I look at Manhattan Boulevard over in Harvey, and I see, yes, there's a lot of congestion there now on the roads because that wasn't properly planned out, but the businesses that have gone up, the economic corridor that they have there, the tax base that they have now, drawing everybody to Manhattan Boulevard, that should be on Jefferson Highway. That should be even more pronounced on Clearview. And it has amazed me that it's not done. And we can't get it done.
We kind of feel a little stagnant.
Right.
And I, too, love shopping on Manhattan Boulevard now. I really do, because, once again, I've gotten very comfortable with going over the Huey P. Long Bridge. It doesn't take me any time to get to Manhattan Boulevard. And they do have easier shopping. We do have that now in Elmwood, but it's just a little bit different feel. And I just feel that we need to really work with what we have to make it shine. We just haven't been maybe polished in a long time,
right,
for lack of a better way of saying it. But we have some wonderful things that we're not highlighting in Jefferson Parish, and then we have to capitalize on the things that we can change.
The new Huey P. Long is great. I mean, I went 15 years living in Kenner and probably drove over the old Huey P. maybe 3 times, just because I didn't feel safe doing it, and didn't like. I was just not comfortable. But now it's a breeze. I just don't.
It is a breeze. It is a. I used to go every season to Bantings to go, for plants. So that was my extent of going across the Huey P. Long Bridge. I understand that thought exactly, but the bridge has opened my eyes to a whole new world on the other side of Jefferson Parish, and I've enjoyed serving on that side of Jefferson Parish. That's where our school board office was. I mean, so they do have wonderful things. It's just making everyone aware of what we do have and capitalizing on that.
Now, your school board district didn't entirely overlap with the parish council district, but I'm sure there were areas that were the same.
It's actually my school board district just on steroids, as I like to say it, because before I represented East Bank and West Bank, and it's the same with Council District 2.
So you know the schools, you know the teachers, you know the principals. Education is obviously something that you're rooted in and can certainly help. And you've talked to these people about their issues independent of being within education, obviously, just developing relationships and friendships.
One of the best friendships that I have, over my 4 years on school board, I attended 49 high school graduations, which means I shook over 45,000 children's hands as they crossed over into adulthood. I've made friends with a lot of those children, because before the ceremony begins, I used to walk around backstage and talk to them. And so I have a couple of kids that have come back and now working for me, and because they believe in me, because they've paid attention to what I've done. And to me, there's no greater compliment than to have someone, with their whole future ahead of them, believing in you and what you can bring forward.
Unlike the current parish president who can't attend a high school graduation. I'm just saying that. That's just me. You don't have to respond to that. But tell people about your campaign, how they can get involved. I'm sure you're out there canvassing and knocking on doors. I see you on Facebook, and you're getting great response out there. But how can people get involved in your campaign? How can they donate to the campaign, or put up a yard sign, or go out and knock doors for you? What do you need help with, and how can they help you?
They can help me by contacting me. My telephone number is area code 504-650-0723. That is my personal cell phone number. I answer it. I contact everyone back. Then also my Facebook page, which is Elect Melinda Doucet. You can find me there, and I enjoy talking to everyone, because that's how we learn, and we hear what the people are looking for on the streets of our district, of our whole parish, really.
Well, 9 days to go before early voting starts, so good luck.
Isn't it exciting? It's a very exciting time for the residents of Jefferson Parish.
Before the real election, so you got a little bit of time to get out there.
We have a little bit of time. We're great. We're knocking doors, and this year my theme song is taking it to the streets, because that's what we're doing.
Okay. Doobie Brothers.
We all seem to love the Doobie Brothers, so it's kind of it crosses all age groups, the Doobie Brothers, so that's good.
Well, we appreciate your time today and letting people in Jefferson Parish know a little bit more about you and how they can get involved in your campaign, and good luck.
Thank you so very much, and thank you for having me today.
Not a problem. Have a great day.
You too.